Good day, everybody. I'm Tom Gandley, and welcome to the Dispatch. In Virginia, despite the fear-mongering and hateful rhetoric of leftist media and their mouthpieces elsewhere, 22,000 gun rights activists demonstrating in Richmond simply peacefully made their voices heard in support of the Second Amendment. Prejudiciously referred to on MSNBC at various times as white nationalists, white supremacists, and Klan members who would act inappropriately and destructively against the capital of Virginia. None of that happened, however, and the demonstrators cleaned up after themselves and were by all accounts polite, accepting, and respectful of everyone. The negative image of the Klansmen, which was descriptively applied to the Second Amendment supporters in advance, was immediately shown to be deliberately false and misleading in the news media. All races were present, and it's estimated that at least 5% of the white nationalist crowd was in fact black, Hispanic, or gay. Shouts of "We will not comply" were bullhorned, and one young man at the rally simplified the need for the demonstration very traditionally, saying, quote, "We're here to scare Governor Northam because when the government fears the people, there's liberty, and when people fear the government, there's tyranny," unquote. Appropriate enough. Virginia's motto since the U.S. Revolution has been "Sic semper tyrannis," or "Thus ever to tyrants." Perhaps Governor Northam and the Democrats in both chambers of the Virginia state legislature needed to be reminded. President Trump chimed in on the Virginia legislature and the governor's actions to strip the Second Amendment rights from the citizens by bluntly tweeting, "I will never allow our great Second Amendment to go unprotected, not even a little bit." The latest Iowa caucus polling of Democratic contenders has Joe Biden with a 3.5% advantage. The next three candidates, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, and Elizabeth Warren, are all in a statistical dead heat for second. The remaining Democrats are far off the pace. The plutocratic ex-mayor of New York, Mike Bloomberg, is still polling in at just 1% in Iowa, despite spending $248 million of his own money on ads around the nation. He is still hovering at about 7% nationally. The Iowa caucus will be held Monday, February 3rd. It is a great time to be an employee of Delta Airlines. The iconic American air carrier has been record generous with its employees' profit sharing for 2019. Thanks to the booming deregulated business atmosphere and lower corporate tax rate now in place, Delta shared $1.6 billion in profit-sharing bonuses to its employees. All eligible employees of Delta's near 90,000-person workforce will get a check worth the equivalent of 17% of their annual wages. That works out to be the equivalent of 2 months' wages for most. Looks like those recently insulted corporate crumbs just keep piling up for America's working class. The profit sharing does not, however, apply to managers or corporate executives of Delta who get an annual bonus based on performance. We'll be right back after a few words from our sponsors.
I'm author Richard Paul Evans. Several years ago, I asked author Mary Higgins Clark the secret to her success. She said, "Richard, I try to make every book my best. I've tried to do the same. My readers deserve that. And sometimes magic happens. I think you're going to love my new book, Noel Street." My agent cried 9 times. Even the woman recording the audiobook had to take breaks because she couldn't stop crying. Noel Street is the story of a mother's love and forgiveness. I can't wait for you to read it. That's Noel Street, on sale November 5th.
You know, as a veteran, I loved when people would approach me in public because I was either in uniform or wearing my Gulf War veteran cap, and then pleasantly thank me for my service. I'm Tom Gandley, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel in the Corps of Engineers and host of the Five Kingdoms radio podcast, Freedom's Herald. It's a great feeling to be remembered. That's why I support the Paralyzed Veterans of America. Folks, I returned from 2 mobilizations just fine, but many vets did not and continue to struggle after their tours of duty. Since 1946, the Paralyzed Vets of America helps these honorable men and women lead more independent lives. The PVA also leads the charge in advocacy for life-changing spinal cord injury research. Please give what you can to this most admirable veterans organization when you receive their requests in the mail or give securely online at www.pva.org. That's www.papavictoralpha.org. Even small donations are appreciated. Give to the paralyzed veterans of America today. Elsewhere, singer and garment industry businessman Kanye West has charted a new course for his billion-dollar-a-year clothing line, Yeezy. West's company has been and will remain in collaboration with German sporting goods manufacturer Adidas. But West's plan, which has drawn criticism, is to move his Yeezy headquarters from Calabasas, California, to a ranch in the area of Cody, Wyoming. Along with that, West intends on bringing the clothing line production back to the States within 2 years. According to the Western Journal, the Cody City Planning Commission is already laying the administrative groundwork for the Adidas Yeezy Sample Lab, as it'll be called. West also embraced the admirable and wholly patriotic goal of partnering the production facility with a second chance prison reform program to staff the operation. The decision, of course, has had its critics. The Clean Clothes Campaign, a global non-governmental organization, claims the movement from Asia to the U.S. would seriously hurt Asian workers. But it seems anyone putting America and the American worker first these days has a target on their back. Also, from a pragmatic point of view, like so many other businesses bailing out on California, the tax rate Yeezy paid of 8.8% in the Sunshine State will now go to 0%. And the burdensome, bothersome regulations California doles out are far less. Wyoming is the least taxed state in the U.S., as there is 0% personal income tax as well. State sales tax is also a low 5.4%. So the benefits to Yeezy clothing, Kanye West, and anyone tagging along to Cody, Wyoming will be substantial. The Dispatch applauds West's loyalty to America and wishes him all the best in this undertaking. And in our Just In Case You Missed It segment, Cardiff Wells is not the bustling, bright lights big city metropolis we see here in the U.S., so it's more likely to see livestock along the side of the roads in small farming communities. But last week, a horse decided to go rogue and wander up and down the A48 Eastern Avenue route, one of Cardiff's bigger thoroughfares. Police closed it to traffic and quickly apprehended the hoofed hellion, but then realized they had no idea where to send the horse or who it belonged to. After calling the local horse warden, I guess they have those over there, the owners were located and contacted but could not get to the horse at 8 p.m. in the evening. So some kind local folks, a few miles away, put Harley the horse on a public transit bus that was going in that direction. Passengers were a little surprised, but seemed to be understanding about the whole matter. This is not a unique occurrence in Cardiff. Apparently a similar instance last year involving 3 horses who escaped were recaptured and all were placed on public transportation to get home. Despite leaving a mess on the bus, Harley's owners are not being asked to pony up any money for fare or cleaning, and South Wales Police stated no citation would be issued because Harley decided to stir up a little trouble. I'm Tom Gandley, and thank you for listening to The Dispatch.